5 minutes into watching this episode, I made the bold prediction that Tokito was going to be the first well-written character in this show. What a moron I was for thinking that. What? Were you expecting a positive review on Demon Slayer? Have you seen my channel? Do you guys know who I am? In the Swordsman village arc, Tanjiro Kamado travels to the village of the Swordsmiths to get his katana repaired. He bumps into Love Hashira Mitsuri Kanroji and Mist Hashira Michiro Kokito. Unfortunately, 2 upper demons have entered the village, and now our team must defeat them, or else the future of the Demon Slayer Corps is in great jeopardy. If I had to describe Demon Slayer, the Swordsman Village arc in one word, it is amateur. This season had a lot of very good ideas at the start, but it just can't help itself. It can't stop telling the same low-risk story that I'm sick to death of hearing. But unlike previous seasons, the animation this time around is incredibly inconsistent, which means more and more of you are finally realizing how mediocre Demon Slayer is. But hey, I know that the pseudo-sad scenes got a few of you, which means I unfortunately need to spill my heart out one more time as to why you guys are falling for the scam that is Kimetsu no creativity. So, sit back, relax and enjoy my review of the Swordsman Village arc. This video will contain spoilers because I'm legally obligated to put a spoiler warning, but if you guys are genuinely wondering what is going to happen in this season, I would highly encourage you open your eyes. Things I liked about Demon Slayer the Swordsmith Village arc. Zenitsu isn't in this season. The performances. Look, there is nothing emotional about Demon Slayer, but the voice acting is one thing I cannot deny is superb this season. You can tell that each of the seiyuu gave it everything they have to make this characters feel as they were that character. You know, they put their hearts and their souls into giving the performances of their lives. Congratulations in advance Natsuki Hanai for winning the Crunchyroll Award for Best VA Performance. That's honestly all I have to say about that. Things I didn't like about Demon Slayer the Swordsmith Village arc. The animation is so inconsistent. A lot of you are probably now entering this part of the video thinking, oh my god, how is he going to look for ways to make Demon Slayer look as bad as possible? And there's one bit of misinformation in that statement. I don't even need to look. Demon Slayer presents its ineptitude to me on a silver platter, and this time around, the animation doesn't cover my eyes like it did in previous seasons. Look, the writing in Demon Slayer is what it is. Terrible. I've covered why in 3 separate videos, and I'm gonna remind you again in a later point. But one thing that genuinely grinds my gears about this show is when Ufotable half-asses the animation. On one hand, you have fights like this, which look fantastic, and shots like this which I praise time after time. On the flip side, you have CGI fish. CGI friggin' fish. Who thought it was a good idea to make CGI fish? And, to add insult to injury, CGI dragons. CGI earth dragons. And not good CGI. CGI that stands out like the smell of piss on an elevator. It's the first thing you notice. It's frustrating as it screams, yeah, this season was made for money laundering. Because even the animated parts are off this time around. Look at previous seasons and now look here. There is a significant and noticeable drop in quality, to the point where I had to ask myself, does anyone actually find this badass? And is it any wonder that this season of all seasons is the one where more and more people are calling Demon Slayer mid? Oh yeah, the one time where the animation looks not bad by any means, but nowhere near the quality of Demon Slayer, is the one time where the narrative is pushed. It's because that's the only thing Demon Slayer had going for it. Why don't they realize this? Why do they half-ass it and use CGI? Though the tunes actually can be pretty nice at times. Probably should have put that in things I liked. Yeah, but I don't remember any of them, so whatever. The characters. Here is a take none of you will respect, but is 100% true, And if Disney made this show, we would be saying it years ago. Are you ready? I sat comfortably. Tanjiro Kamado? No. The entire Kamado family are Mary Sue's. Think about it. They can use whatever abilities they want without prior training, or even knowledge of their existence. They can get out of any situation whenever the plot feels like it. And if you're against them, you're bad. By all definitions, that's a Mary Sue. Let's start off with Nezuko, because it's a much smaller body to dissect. Do you remember last season where she went Guts-style berserk? You also remember how Nezuko couldn't control herself at that state? What do you mean? Second time's the charm. She can just go into that form for longer and with perfect coordination. Shush, this is an anime, it's not meant to make sense. Oh yeah, and you know how Nezuko has been just written as a plot device in a box, which only exists when the plot says so? Yep, big waste of time that is. Turns out she's the only demon who can survive sunlight. Of course she is. What's that? That's horse shit? Sorry, I couldn't hear your hater tears over my own because this scene is so sad. The characters are crying, so therefore I have to be. And they still put her in the box so she needs to go to sleep. I love when this show is indecisive. Next is Tanjiro, who, no joke, never has to train to do anything he does on screen. I mentioned this in my first season review that he can somehow spit fire when he's a water user, but never once does he train the use of sun breathing. Herder, but Sammy, sun breathing was already stated to be more natural to Tanjiro than water breathing. Okay, but you still need to bloody train it. Humans are more built to breathe into our diaphragms than straight into our chest. You still need to relearn how to breathe. Never once does he show any improvements from the instant gratification district arc. Keep in mind, he entered the Swordsmith village after just waking up from a coma, and he's fighting an upper ranked demon. The thing is they could actually make this plot point interesting if they showed us how rushing recovery would have affected Tanjiro. But do they do that? Do they fuck? Oh, and as it turns out, Tanjiro is an official Titan user. Because he can just dream of something that happened in his ancestor's life and bam, instant 200% power boost. Such a good character. And finally, he can just push through any injury, no matter how career-ending, like it's nothing. And if not, oh well, I heard Zenitsu vaguely talking about thunder breathing. Just gonna do it for the first time ever. No. And bro, these are just the previous characters. I haven't even gone over the new characters that are introduced this season. The characters in Demon Slayer were never written well, but this season is different. This season, they actually had some pretty good ideas for characters, but never followed through with any of them. I mentioned at the start how Tokito started out as my favourite character, partially out of the bias that he was against Tanjiro. But not only that, he's right! Tanjiro is a little brat who's had everything handed to him and now is interfering with a Hashira's mission. But that's the problem. He's against Tanjiro. This is the Tanjiro show. Tanjiro has to be right, and if not, then either change the character or is a villain. No in-betweens. For example, there's this one scene where Tokito has to decide to save the blacksmith kid from CGI fish. And Tokito's thought was like, okay, it's peak to let a kid die, but if I don't let this kid die, an upper moon would have been alive for longer because I'm strong enough to be an upper moon. And so that upper moon could kill much more people than just one kid. But no, grey morals? Inner struggles? Demon Slayer could never! As Tokito remembers that one conversation that Tanjiro wanted to save everybody. And so there goes that interesting theme. That's right, a 15-year-old spoilt brat apparently knows more than a flaming Hashira. Don't worry though, it's not all Tanjiro's fault that this character is terrible. Because as like most characters in the show, this one also has a sad backstory. So, let's play Spot the Cliché Tokito Edition.
その日、僕は母さんと父さん、大事な人を一度に亡くした。両親が死んだのは10歳の時だ。情けは人のためならず、誰かのために何かしてもろくなことにならない。僕たちならきっと。お前に何ができるって言うんだよ。
なんだ、ガキ2匹だけだ。まあいいが。
無情。
And then he shows off his new katana to save the day, and these NPC fans are like, oh, Upper 5 was so much weaker than Upper 6. What a lame fight. Wait a second, you actually like the bullcrap that Season 2 shat out last time? Are you smoking the green spider lily? Oh yeah, did I also mention that for like 3 episodes he was trapped in a water vase and did nothing? What a shame. What a waste. Finally, Genya. Such a wasted opportunity of a character. He starts off as a reintroduced character that we're somehow meant to remember. I'm sorry, how are you expecting me to remember a filler character from one of the most forgettable arcs in the history of television? Anyways, Genya was a special case because he was the first character in the show who was unable to use breathing forms. Instead, he uses guns, which is a first for Demon Slayer. Okay, fair enough. He's also a one-of-a-kind character because he has an ability where he can eat a demon's flesh and then inherit that power for a little bit. How? Why? What? Fuck you, that's why. Okay, stupid magic system aside, personality-wise, Genya is one of those which is pretty hostile to everyone around him, including to Tanjiro. Now, what do you think Demon Slayer does with the information that I have presented to you thus far? Do they A, clash Tanjiro and Genya's personality to form an interesting drama to see how their characters interact even though they are on the same side? B, progressively lower Genya's hostile side as the two of them realise that they synergize really well with each other? Or C, have Genya keep his hostile personality, Tanjiro keep his kind personality, have Genya listen to Tanjiro blindly even though he explicitly says that he doesn't want to, give him a pseudo-sad story, and then smokescreen his stubborn nature to show that he was a good boy all along. What do you think happens? Ding 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 ding, you guessed C, congratulations. So you can see there clearly were some interesting ideas with our supporting cast, but then they just throw it away just when I think something half entertaining is gonna happen. Oh yeah, there's someone I forgot. Sket Hashira is a plot device used to lure horny weebs into sticking around this season. Why do you think she's in my thumbnail? The storyline is an absolute mess. I sound like a broken record at this point, but Demon Slayer has a crap story. We begin with the upper demons being summoned to Muzan's castle, and Muzan is angry that no one has found the blue flower thingy and hasn't killed the Sensei family yet. Upper 3 is pissed for some reason, I'm sure we will find out later. Here's a question. Why do non-manga readers like Upper 3? He friggin' attacks Upper 2 for wanting information from Upper 5, which supposedly would help with killing the Demon Slayers and make that reasonably easier. That's a perfectly valid question to ask. He's just like, it's the same people who cried at Rengoku's death, the exact same people. Tanjiro wakes up after seeing his past life in a dream, and we've already started the screaming. We go to the Swordsmith village arc, which is a super secret place. The entire arc is named after it though, so not so secret. And the first thing we see is Sket Hashira naked. Not the hardest read in the world, was it? She's heard rumours that Tanjiro is not healed enough to fight demons. Okay, show, I'll hold you to that. We're introduced to Tokito, aka the derpy one who said, let's face it, you thought was a girl at first impression, who says that Tanjiro's voice is annoying. See why I thought he was going to be best character? We're also introduced to Blacksmith Kid, who doesn't want to hand over a training dummy as it's too well made to be destroyed. Well then, what is the point of having it? Tokito is too good for the training dummy and destroys it, but not to worry as it is repaired so that Tanjiro can use it. Tanjiro then cuts off its head, and it turns out that there is a katana in there, which they make us wait a week to see what it looks like. Which means... yeah, exactly. It's absolutely nothing. We're then finally introduced to Tanjiro's Swordsmith, who starts fucking screaming for like 5 minutes for no reason. And we all know he just wants to repair the rusty katana. This show has to oversell its filler, because there is nothing else. Tanjiro goes back to the house where Tokito is, and they talk about morals or something. My notes are so vague, and I can't be bothered to rewatch this season. Old Man Demon comes into the room and immediately dies. But guys, this is Demon Slayer. Do you really think he's gonna die that easy? He splits into 4 emotion demons and they fight Tanjiro, Nezuko, and Genya. Tokito has been separated from them, and on his way back, he saves Blacksmith Village from CGI fish. I'll remind you again, CGI fish! This is the show you are overrating. A show with CGI, an entire village of CGI fish. But don't worry, let's get Hashira to the rescue. Anyways, Tokito goes to the shed to get his katana as his current sword is a bit busted. And if you think for 1 second that the shed isn't compromised, don't you worry. The show will prove you wrong in the very next frame. Now, you don't really need a brain to realise that Tokito is only going to win this fight once he gets his new katana. So from now till then, fill in the blanks as to what is going to happen. No, seriously, go on, do it. Meanwhile, Tanjiro is struggling to beat up a fall, but then he remembers something. And then, being the Mary Sue that he is, he just cuts off all 4 demons' head at once. Some breathing, some breathing, some breathing. Ironically, it does nothing, and they just combine into CGI Demon Dragon. CGI Demon Dragon has a very interesting moral compass, to say the least. Sket Hashira saves the day and gets her backstory explained. And here lies the funniest joke I have ever heard.
Kanroji-san? 君と結婚できるのなんて
Clearly you have not met the fandom. Just when all hope is lost, Sket Hashira remembers to watch my review on the Hype Train movie. Oh, is that CGI dragon? Yeah, whatever. I'm breathing. The plan is to now let Sket Hashira kill CGI Dragon Demon so that Tanjiro and Co can kill the Old Man Demon, who, by the way, is pocket-sized and can move at the speed of light. Tanjiro is too injured to chase the Old Demon, but what does he do? That's right, he remembers this one conversation he has with Zenitsu and can just do thunder breathing. He manages to kill Old Man Demon, but JK not really, as it's a different emotion to the one at the core. They fall off a cliff into an open space where everyone is injured, and Old Man Demon is like, where are the humans? I need to eat to regenerate. What do you mean, where are the humans? There are 2 very tasty humans right there and there for you, and they're injured. Show is so stupid. And as predicted earlier, we aren't going to see this demon die until we see new and improved katana. The problem is the sun's coming out, so now Tanjiro has to pick between saving Nezuko from the sunlight or killing Old Man Demon once and for all. I think you know what I'm going to say about this. If this were an actual decision, like a Sophie's Choice style decision, well done, Demon Slayer, that was superb. But this is Demon Slayer, so what happens is Nezuko kicks Tanjiro and makes him choose to kill the bloody Old Man Demon. I'm forgetting my script. I'm going off script. I'm literally using my notes at this point. So they kill Old Man Demon, and then they pretend that Nezuko is dead. But as it turns out, Nezuko can resist sunlight. This show has no stakes. And in one of the most beautiful emotional performances everyone cries at this season, Demon Slayer fans, I know this is a little bit of a chore to ask from you. Please think for once in your life, why is this sad? You know it's gonna happen, and she didn't die. This isn't like some amazing reunion. No! What is this? And oh yeah, Nezuko can speak for some reason, because why not? We're not even done. Like, this is half the episode, by the way. In the next part of the season, we get to explain how Muzan became the first demon. We don't need to know this, guys. Don't explain the magic. You did it perfectly well with the breathing, and it doesn't make any sense. But the magic of the demon's existence, which should be part of the world building, you don't need to explain that. And of course, that's the one thing that Demon Slayer explains. And now, you know what? At least we now know that Muzan is a generic villain who just wants immortality and infinite regeneration, and he also wants to see the sun. Oh, and now that Nezuko can resist sunlight, she's public enemy number 1 to Muzan. And then finally they piss off to the Hashira training arc, where now Tanjiro can see where he's going, because I guess now the Swordsmith village isn't a secret place anymore. Why is Nezuko still in the box? Just take her out the box. Have her sleep next to Tanjiro. Siblings do that all the time at a young age. What the hell? Yeah. This is the show that'll probably win Anime of the Year. If that show that I don't even remember, what is it called? Oshinoko? I haven't watched it. If that show doesn't win it, then this will. Awesome! So, to conclude, Demon Slayer, the Swordsmith Village, tells the story of Tanjiro Kamado and friends as they go to the Swordsmith Village arc and to protect it from 2 Upper Moon demons, alongside the Love Hashira and the Mist Hashira. It's taken me quite a bit of maturity to realise this, but Demon Slayer as a consumer product is absolute genius. It is the most low-risk story, which means nobody can get offended by it, nobody can really criticise it, and they can focus all their attention on the animation and the soundtrack. It's giving brain-dead anime fans exactly what they want, which is good animation with a very half-assed story that pretends to be deep whenever it can be. And it also gives it pseudo-emotional moments so that the audience feels different things. It's genius. But longevity-wise, I do not think anyone will be even thinking about this show in 10, 20 years' time. Not a chance. And the thing that annoys me about this season in particular is that Ufotable themselves, it just seems like they didn't know what they want out of it. Because in Season 1, they wanted to show off that they had the best animation. In Season 2, they wanted to top it. In Season 3, they wanted to do the best animation and to do it for as long as possible. In this current arc, they give us CGI fish. I don't know if I'll watch the next season. To be honest, I'm on bigger things. Watching anime is a waste of time. But here's the thing. If I watch this season, this new season, I'm going to come into it like I come into the Fast and Furious franchise. I want to see how ridiculous and out of this world Demon Slayer can push my buttons. I want to see how much arse they can pull out just so the good guys survive. I want to see how low they can go to get a cry out of you guys. I just want to see it at this point. And to be honest, Demon Slayer is absolute perfection for that reason. But for no other reason. It has a terrible story, the characters are so bland and one-dimensional, and above all else, it is so predictable. The end of episode 10 really reassured me that this show is honestly just for kids, and if kids were overrating this stuff, I wouldn't be making this video. Like, I hate the anime Seraph of the End. It is one of the laziest and obnoxious animes I've ever had the displeasure of watching. But no one cares, so like, why should I? It's my own problem. But no, I've got friggin' 30-plus-year-olds telling me that this is the best that they've ever seen. Which, I mean, is fine, but this is my channel, I can talk about whatever I want. You can watch it if you want to. Yeah, I think I'll end it on that. I'll watch anime YouTubers now overrate this nonsense while still pushing that all isekais are the same narrative. This is the state of anime in 2023. Final rating, 0 out of 10. I don't want to know how many minutes I've wasted on this. If you guys enjoyed listening to my opinion, leave a comment, tell me what you think so that we can have an organized discussion. Join my Discord server for even better talks about not just anime but anything. Please like, favorite, share, subscribe, and of course, make sure to view